I'm not a financial advisor, so today I'm going to tell you what most of them won't. What I wish I knew before I hired one. I'm Adley, and this is our Wealthy Woman Club. A wealthy woman has so much more than money. She has control over her time and peace of mind. She is free. She is you. This is episode 5 of the Beginner Investing Club series, where I share my personal finance stories to teach you what I wish I knew sooner, simpler, and step by step. Since everyone has a unique financial situation, always do your own due diligence to determine what's right for you. Before I knew enough about investing to develop my own plan, I worked with a financial advisor, someone I trusted as an expert to act within my best interest. I made a smart decision, or so I thought. The advisor liked mutual funds, which hold a collection of stocks. They offer more diversification than handpicking individual stocks. It sounded great to me at the time. In business school, my finance professor taught me what this advisor never wanted me to learn. I discovered I could actually end up paying him more for worse outcomes. Here's how. Those mutual funds he likes so much are actively managed. That means a woman working on Wall Street is actively managing that fund, trying to outperform the market, typically benchmarked by the S&P 500, earning upwards of 7% a year on average. My finance professor taught me about index funds, which can be a type of mutual fund that's passively managed. It tracks the S&P 500 instead of trying to beat it. That means no one has to actively manage this, and so it costs less. My S&P 500 index fund has a 0.02% expense ratio, whereas the average mutual fund has a 1% expense ratio. The rationale for paying more for an active fund is that the fund manager who spends every work week trying to beat the market ultimately will do so. And in the short term, some do. But over the long run, even 90% of investment professionals fail to consistently outperform the market. I analyzed the 10-year average annual return of over 200 mutual funds comparable to the S&P 500. I found that on average, these active funds underperformed by 2%. Then on top of that, financial advisors typically charge an annual assets under management fee, or AUM fee. This cost can vary, but according to NerdWallet, 1% is typical in 2026. If I invest passively into an S&P 500 index fund, I earn roughly 7%. But with an active advisor, once I take away 1% for active fund expenses, 1% for AUM fees, and finally 2% for underperformance, then I'm left with only 3%. While that 4% gap may seem small, it could be the difference between retiring with $1 million or $400,000. The compounded cost of having a financial advisor could make me miss out on half my potential lifetime earnings. It wasn't wrong to hire a financial advisor, but I'm glad my professor taught me the investing fundamentals so I can look out for my own well-being. While I don't currently work with a financial advisor, there are situations where it's 100% worth it to do so. Often when we talk about investing, we use averages over a long period of time. However, the stock market does not actually work like that, providing a consistent 7% return year over year. Instead, it's plus 20%, minus 5%, plus 15%, minus 1%, and so on and so on. My portfolio could actually swing up or down as much as 50% in a given year. How an investor handles those swings will be one of the biggest predictors of their success. That's because the guaranteed way to lose money in the stock market is selling investments at a loss. When investors withdraw their money as the market is tanking, they don't earn roughly 7% on average. They earn 2%. If seeing a 50% dip in my investment accounts makes me want to quit my plan, that's where a financial advisor could really help. But here's the catch. To get those benefits, I need to make sure I'm working with a trustworthy advisor. Early on, I didn't realize some financial advisors operate more like sleazy car salesmen than trusted experts. Unless the advisor is a fiduciary, they do not have any legal obligation to act within my best interests. They can act like a car salesman, one that's incentivized to boost their own wealth, even at the expense of their client. If I wanted to work with a financial advisor again, here's how I'd find a good one. I would pay close attention to how the advisor is compensated for helping me. If I only need help on an infrequent basis or help with a specific question or situation, I would consult with a fee-only fiduciary advisor and pay per appointment. A great advisor would give you clarity on options with the pros and cons of each. and ultimately empower you with the knowledge you need to confidently make the decision and execute the plan yourself. If I decide I want someone to manage my money for me, I would consider a robo-advisor. Or if I really wanted a real person, I would consider a fiduciary advisor who does not earn commission. A robo-advisor is a lot more cost-effective. Instead of paying an advisor 1%, an algorithm builds a customized index fund portfolio based on your goals and risk tolerances. It's perfect if you want automated investing that's hands-off at a fraction of the cost. But a fiduciary advisor is worth it if you need real-life conversations, emotional reassurance during market drops, or customized planning for complex situations. Most importantly, I would look for someone who is a pleasure to work with, someone who takes time to meet with me, someone who answers my questions patiently, someone who can teach me while making me feel smart, not dumb. Even though I no longer work with a financial advisor, it was the best decision I made when I was starting my journey. Once I learned more, I felt confident I could do a better job investing on my own. What matters most is that I started investing. I started learning how to build my wealth. Because no one will care more about your financial well-being than you. You can take one easy step to make your financial well-being a part of your routine today. Subscribe to our Wealthy Woman Club and turn on notifications. Whether you work with a trustworthy fiduciary or invest on your own, you'll need to decide what investment accounts are right for you. Keep watching to see my 3 favorite investment accounts for wealthy women.